Hey, WokeNFree Nation. Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 309th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, to the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we're diving into something foreign or alien in nature, because the question is, what are aliens doing here and why doesn't anyone care? So before we dive deep into that interesting topic, a couple of things to cover. First, have you gone to WokeNFree.com not only to listen to this episode, but to download it through the Podbean app? If you don't have the app, then you can't do one of the most important things, which is to share your comments and share your thoughts on every week's episode. And we definitely know you have thoughts about aliens, so we want to hear them. Please make sure you do that. Now, if you listen to podcasts on a device where you can't put another app like the Podbean app on, that's a little bit sad, but that's okay, because what you can do to still support us and the show is to go to WokeNFree.com and then go to the Listen tab and then pick your platform of choice where you can follow and subscribe to the show. So we're on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world where most podcasts are consumed. You will find this show, so make sure you do that. Also, on WokeNFree.com, you can click to subscribe to follow the show through the Podbean app. And then on social media, we'd love for you to follow us and engage with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And then lastly, if you have 90 seconds, which is more of a statement, less of a question, we'd love for you to give us a review. So how do you do that? Go to WokeNFree.com, go on the Listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you're going to review the show. So with that, I think I'm kicking it to you, Khalil.
Well, before we start this extraterrestrial conversation, we like to share a little bit about ourselves. This week, we're asking, would you prefer aliens that look human or something from out of this galaxy?
Preference, if I had one. Interesting. I guess my bias would be to have these creatures look more like us, because then I feel like assimilation and unification is probably just easier of a journey if that was a reality and an option. And also just because, like, out of this universe or out of this galaxy seems like that could be, like, it could include creatures that would scare me. So, is the best way I think I could put it. So, to be, like, less scared, I think I'll go with that option. How about you?
Oh, for a scared perspective. Interesting. See, I thought of it from a practical perspective. So I said, if they look like us, would it be that they want to take over our world kind of thing? Would they want to get rid of us and take our place?
Violent.
That's just what I think, because I don't know if they're looking human. Are they going to act human in some sort of way? Compared to if they're just like otherworldly, they're on a whole different level. So I would think they probably have different wants and needs from beings that look like us, because then I would think they're basically like us. I don't see how they'd be that much different. So
Interesting.
For me, I would take the ones out of this galaxy just because I don't want hostile invaders or whatever. I don't know if you call them invaders, but whatever you think of them
I guess if they came here and they weren't invited.
Yeah, then you can think of them as they invaded.
Yeah.
And to get just right into the subject, Are the aliens actually real? And do you think they are amongst us as we speak?
Well, so recently, most people are aware of this. I'm not sure why folks don't seem too fazed by it, but there was a testimony by retired Air Force Major David Grush. Is that how you say his name?
Maybe.
Groush? Yeah, testified, and he recently last week, and that the U.S. essentially has concealed what he has called a multi-decade program to collect and reverse engineer UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, the official government term for UFOs. And a part of what the U.S. has recovered, he testified as, were non-human biologics, which he said had not seen, but he had learned from people with direct knowledge of the program. And in a separate statement, Pentagon spokesperson Sue Gao denied other allegations made by him before a House Oversight Subcommittee. And all of this comes from an article on apnews.com, and you'll find all of our links in our episodes at WokeNFree.com. And there are quite a bit of, TikToks and content out here around this biologics reference, and even questioning around, so were these pilots aliens? And he kind of was skirting around and didn't want to directly say yes, they're aliens. They're, it was hinting to it. So kind of admission or statement rather, that yes, aliens are here, or non-human biologics are amongst us or present. But to answer your question, based on that testimony and based on what I believe, I would say, yes, I do believe aliens are real. Yes, I believe in intelligent life forms could live in other planets, or, parts of this space existence that we are a part of. And are they here? My inclination says yes. How about you?
Interesting. Now, I do think the aliens are real. Are they here? That's a complicated question, because I guess it depends on what you think about of what aliens are. Because I think even in this during this whole congressional testimony, there was talk of life forms from different dimensions. Was that in there?
Yeah, multi-dimensional. He mentioned that piece of it too.
So, I mean, you gotta be, dimensions are interesting, because if you, when you talk about that, you can't really say, is it a life form, or is it an alien? What is it really if it's from a different dimension? Is that an alien? What if we exist in a different dimension? Is that really alien, or is that just a part of us that we don't experience?
If you're not born of this planet, then you would be alien to the planet.
Not if you're in a different dimension. You could be in a different dimension and taking up the same space. It's kind of like Earth in the fourth or whatever
dimension.
The fourth dimension. Are you still on Earth? I mean, technically,
not on this Earth, but you
are though. You are. I mean, you could be. It depends on how you look at dimension.
Earth, I guess.
It's not in our dimension we see, but it's for.
So technically, it would be foreign to this dimensional Earth.
No, it's not foreign. No, it's more it's kind of like lower dimension.
But it's not. It's not the same.
It is. It's just that you're even higher. So it's kind of like if you have a one dimension thing. You have a point, right? But if you have two dimensions, now you have a line. That line still exists where that one dot is.
Well, how I interpret it is if it's currently
but I don't know if you're thinking of dimensions.
Present, then it's here. And if it's outside of that scope, then it's not.
Because it depends on how you're looking at dimensions. Because in sci-fi world, they don't try to show it in terms of how we think of dimensions. Where it's they kind of show all right, you're in a different dimension. You're just completely in another place. But what if it's not like that? What if you are here? You just
a different.
It's hard.
Or something.
You can't see all of that three-dimensional being. So that's kind of. I mean, in terms of that, if the aliens were in a different dimension, maybe they were here. Do I think that's happening? I mean, that's a hard one. I mean, that's a hard one, because I don't know if I would call that aliens. The kind of aliens I think of is aliens from just a different galaxy. So I don't try to think of a multi-dimensional alien as being here, but if multi-dimensions, well, we know multi-dimensions do exist, but is there something living in the multi-dimension? I don't know. But if it is, then it's here.
We need to talk about that too, because you said that's so cavalierly.
Oh yeah, there's proof, because there's.
I don't know. Everyone agrees with that. That's interesting.
They might not, but they got to explain how come there's particles that disappear out of this universe and we don't see
and
what happens to
vanished,
it. Yeah, like almost
it.
like, so one thing in this universe that's true is energy is neither created nor destroyed.
Facts.
But we do see particles that literally disappear. There's no...
So the explanation is that it's going to a different dimension?
Yeah, but there's more... I know, like, I'm just explaining it simply, right? There's more science behind it and research. But that's a thought process.
And then what dimension are we in then?
If
we're multi-dimensional.
Well, no. See, remember, you could think of it, we're in the 3D dimension, but what's the fourth dimension?
Creepy.
See, again, adjacent, like you were saying, it's not, because, see, that's what's funny. When you talk about dimensions, you could go like, all right, sci-fi dimension. You're in a different, well, you know what? See, the dimensions in sci-fi, they usually don't really talk about dimensions. It's about universes and multiverses. Yeah, they do multiverse. That's a little bit different, but a dimension, a next dimension is just adjacent to where we are, which we can't even imagine as a human. So if we're three-dimensional,
you're saying there would be a fourth...
Which would be an inside-out being to us, meaning it could go inside of us.
Creepy.
Like,
we definitely gonna have to talk about that on the show, because that, I don't know if everyone...
You can't really, to explain it is a hard thing. But my question here, though, like, just to get back to what he said. So the guy, let's just take what he said. He said there was non-human biologics, right? Yeah. But... So does that mean there was a dolphin that was flying the aerial craft?
I think that some of the footage that I watched, he seemed to indicate that some of the information he couldn't share in an open setting like that. But he never, he could.
From what I seen, he never said it was not from this planet. Like, he didn't even say that.
Oh yeah, he was very it was so vague with the types of things that he was saying.
That's my one point there. The second point is, it's great that he's just telling us of secondhand experience. He'd never even seen these things.
Well, I mean,
it's
all
about
the
experts talking to him.
The program are currently with these aliens, right?
So it's kind of like
they would be fired.
All right, no. What I'm saying, all right,
or something.
That's all fine, but it's great. It's great. That's just like a happened.
Oh yeah, it's definitely hearsay.
That's a happy point that
because I heard.
It's not eyewitness. He's like, these experts. They told me something. They told me they found different stuff.
I mean, it's kind of like, think about it, Independence Day, when they had all those scientists working on the crash alien.
Yeah,
and they weren't. The head scientist was like, they don't let us out much, right? Like,
all right, see, that's fine. But see, in Independence Day, even when they would
be allowed.
So when they showed I forgot who was walking through, and they were showing the lab, but they literally showed him the lab, so that person had eyewitness. Yeah. So imagine those people they were in that lab, they fly out to your house and they tell you, hey, we recovered aircraft and there were things on it, Yeah. You could believe them, but they don't even, it's like they didn't have to provide him proof. It was all word of mouth, even to him. It wasn't like he witnessed it himself. He just heard from quote unquote experts who we don't know.
Well, maybe this is the beginning of an unraveling of U.S. hidden secrets. Maybe
I know.
Governmental secrets.
I'm just putting this out there.
At the end of the day, it would be great to hear it from people who, if this is true.
At least because I would want to start
working with these biologics.
Yeah, let's first start from. I want to start from the witness first. I don't want to start from there, and then the last point is like, is he really saying anything that people, it's kind of like, if you already believed aliens were here, he's not, the information he provided didn't do anything. It's not like he said, they're here. He didn't say there's things here.
Like they have three
and they
eyes
have intention. And there's no description of, look, there's a lot of details missing, right? So it's kind of like, well, you didn't really give much information. All you kind of says, I'm confirming that there are secret programs and that we've found things.
I love the part of the testimony he did speak to, like, misappropriation, because I think one of the questions was like, how is this funded? And he was like, misappropriation of funds, right? Like, and it's like, and people always joke about that.
Yeah, I can believe that part.
Money that's claimed to go X is not fully going to X. And so, like, that to me,
there's a lot of money in circulation, so
ooh, interesting.
That's actually should be the talk of the hearing, right?
How are we guaranteeing how our funding is being used, and what is it being used for, and why is this program, if there's another shouldn't the American people who pay into our tax system know where our money is going for every toilet, for every dollar spent and shared? Like,
because it can go into the secret program, or it could just line the pockets of a politician, right? It can go anywhere, and that's not cool.
Then that's not clear. Then is it always going to go to a program, or are people taking a nice extra bonus check somewhere?
Yeah, and then they just write like miscellaneous or something.
Yeah, like broken toilet 10 times. Like
that too. Yeah, that was just really. I mean, do they buy expensive typewriters from the 30s that cost $100,000 like a police department did? That really happened.
I don't know.
See, I don't. They're not really do it though. It's
well,
weird.
Then, if aliens are real and here, dun dun dun. Why does no one seem to care?
Well, I think the first thing. before we even talk about that is that people should check out our UFO episode.
Hey.
And that's episode 199. Because we talk about some insights about these UFOs, or now what they call is the unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP. Yeah, just to get that acronym out the way. And, you know, it kind of comes down to what I've been saying is the people that believe in it, they got their confirmation, but the people that don't, it's like more hearsay again than usual. So it's not even being covered by mainstream media. They're not like harping on this. They rather talk about the weather. That's more interesting than this.
Well, yeah, definitely.
And the other thing to think about is like, why should people care, right? About like literally why should they care?
That's interesting.
Are they like, so now that we know that, all right, you guys are doing, let's say that everything is real, like there's aliens here.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing the research on the crafts. How does that affect the economy, right? How does that grow wealth for the average American? How does that solve world hunger? Like, is that any of that happening? Is this technology being used to get us to Mars? I mean, we don't really, there's so much up in the air about it, and there's not anything that shows that we should care about it. It's not like Independence Day where we're told, oh, you know, they had weapons on board and they're trying, like, there's not a lot of detail there. It's just kind of vague hearsay. So I think that's the problem. Even if they are here, and the government's working on it, there's no information about what they're doing. You know, what's the reasoning behind why they came here? Like none of that's being said. And yeah, I guess the guy, he has to be hush hush. I don't know why. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to take him out and the information's going to be there.
Careful what you're implying here, but, you know, and that's just theory, not
it's just theory, but I'm just wondering why he can't speak on it though. What does that mean?
Well, we don't know what type of oaths and what type of confidentiality
about illegal funded programs that
but this is governmental behavior, and I don't know if you're
like what could they? So it's kind of like they can't take legal action.
You can't just speak on everything. You know, there's certain
that's different though, because
you hold in confidence.
Because it's kind of like if you have a misappropriated program and you do things against that program contract, they can't sue you. I mean, if they do, then they oust the program. Yeah. they oust themselves to see how it. I mean, unless they can come after you a different way, where it's like this isn't the program, but we're taking away your apartment or something.
There's a lot we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
for me, I actually agree with you based on you know what I've been seeing on social media and just thinking through like. You know, the human experience, and people are really struggling to afford eggs, to be able to afford their rent, to be able to put gas in their vehicles. And to your point, yeah, like if aliens are here, whoop-de-doo, right? Like, does that get more gas in my car? Do I have more groceries? Can I pay for childcare for my child? Like, these are critical questions that people of all income brackets are struggling with, like absent like the real top tier folks who are, you know, swimming in cash. But for the average Joe, that person is struggling just to live. So the existence of aliens or non-existence of aliens does very little to their pockets. And so thus they're just like, oh well. But what I was actually more surprised about was the fact that like, even taking that to the side, what about the religious implications of this potential, like, revelation, right?
There's religious things?
Well, right, depending upon your faith practice, and how you believe the origination of Earth and life, and then the idea of aliens, again, is, like, now another non-explained situation, right? Like, so I was interested in seeing kind of religious community leaders coming out and speaking on this because it's like, well,
I think the Pope's okay with it. What I don't have the exact words, but I think he's okay with aliens. I don't know the exact statement was made, but I saw.
Are we drawing dotted lines, or what are we like saying this correlates to human life and our creation? And
yes, I didn't see the specifics.
That's where it gets very
I think
tricky,
he was okay with it,
right?
existing.
Because it's like, you know, the like same thing. You have your religious beliefs, and then say what happens with Big Bang, and then what, you know, like it gets really interesting. So I'm curious to see what's going to continue on from this. I'm curious, to your point, are we going to have more whistleblowers? Are we going to get more information around this revelation of extraterrestrial life? But with that,
well, and before that, just to make so one of the statements he said that he's not sure if aliens do exist, but he said the Americas weren't known to be populated until those people the Europeaners came over there. They didn't realize there were people on a different continent. So likewise, there could be people on different, in a different galaxy or planet. And the second thing he mentioned is that if the aliens do come here, he is willing to have them baptized.
You're a mess.
He made this statement.
You're a mess.
I didn't make this. This is the Pope. I'm just putting it out there.
They may not need to be baptized because they may already come out baptized.
I know, that's what's funny to make that kind of statement.
We don't know what type of religious practices extraterrestrial life is doing, and we shouldn't be so presumptive to assume that they are not saved.
Okay.
And they haven't made peace with their maker. So, like I said, there's a lot of implication there. I'm fascinated by that.
I had a lot of points to make about the testimony. The last point that I forgot to mention was that it's just interesting that the government, with this secret program, there's no leaks or anything. When they're terrible at hiding secrets and doing things under the table. They always, there's always leaks.
That's a statement and an opinion, Cole.
Well, I mean, there's a ton of things that they try to hide and then it comes out. I mean, they've been shown time and time again not being able to hide stuff. So it's funny that
of all the programs, that you think that this is
like the most well thought out program they've ever put together, where it's been this secretive for decades that there's no leaks of any real information. But I mean, people have been talking
about like Roswell.
They talk about it, but they don't even have
for many moons.
There's no it's like you said, none of those scientists have leaked out any real footage.
I don't know what
like
type
we have
of
the fake footage.
Confidentiality issues that would happen. I don't know if
that's
people
really
would be in prison
I mean,
for life.
That's
I don't know
excellent because the government usually doesn't run programs so well like that. There's usually a bungle somewhere, and especially in this time of the internet.
There have been TV shows around, Roswell and people talking about aliens
but not
and the alien
nothing
crash
concrete. Compared to government just bungling everyday programs. But this program, it's all buttoned up and they're doing great. They made sure nobody do anything. Like, there's no leak. So I would say that's another thing.
I mean, I just hope for his sake, that this testimony is not falsified in any way, because I think that's legally and
he can easily get out of it though, because again, he's not an eyewitness to anything.
Yeah.
He just heard stuff from these people. Right? People told me. So again. Now, if you could communicate with these aliens that are here, what would you discuss with them?
So, one of the most favorite things I ever do in life, outside of like creation of content, consumption of content, is my opportunity to hear people's stories. And I do that in a myriad of ways. I do that through, job interviews and hearing people through their stories in my role in my career. I also hear that through interviews I've conducted on behalf of our platforms, on behalf of other people's platforms. And I love a good interview. I love hearing people's stories. So if I was privileged and fortunate enough to engage with an extraterrestrial life, I would want to know their story. I would want to know what moves them, what they think about planet Earth and USA, and hopefully they've been to New York, so we can talk about that too.
You don't want to know what they have to think about Jamaica?
I mean, I've been to Jamaica once as a child. I have to go back, but my reference point would be more so New York and Arizona. So I would love to know if they had visited there, what their thoughts are on there. I would love for them to talk to me about like global warming. I'd love for them to talk to me about their favorite books and film and TV. I just would want to like be friends. Like, let's connect. I would think that would be such a cool opportunity. And I do want to preface, as long as the communication would not endanger my life or my loved ones, then I'm all for it. But just putting out those boundaries.
And I have another preface for you.
Yes.
You would like it to be in English.
Oh.
The communication.
Well, I think in English, so, and I receive content in English, so I need to receive it in English. Now,
because if it was in a different language,
it could be in a different language, but if it could be translated into me to hear it, or if they didn't speak,
it goes right into your
but they're
mind.
Telepathic and it went right in my mind, as long as I can understand it in the language that I speak and read and listen to content, then that's fine too.
But aliens are here and they only speak French.
That would be super cool for French people then.
We have to go through France or French people to understand what they're talking.
So that would be another boundary.
Or actually,
be interested in.
So even if they did speak only French, would you be willing to speak with them through an app like Google Translate? Or you'd want it to be better?
But the problem is I know that
the
conversation, there's going to be missed things in the conversation because it's just not like I would need to level up myself, right? Like that's
wow. So you want to do the discussion until you learn the language, you learn to communicate communicate
I would
with them
do it,
more
but
directly?
I would know that it's not it's not the full Monty. So I would be I would
Interesting.
always wonder what I missed from it, because there's always things that just come off wrong.
Lost in translation,
Yeah,
right?
they get
and then
lost.
the systems don't know it
I would be mad
yet.
and sad about that. Yeah, how about you?
Okay. Well, for me, it's pretty easy. The thing that I would want to know about is how they get here. So I want their alien technology to travel space, and I want them to share it with me no matter what. And the only thing it can't cost me is it can't cost me any of my family. But if it costs anything else, then that's willing to give up to get the space travel.
You're saying you'd pay for it?
I give them $10. I don't know if they're gonna do it to burn it for warmth or something.
Being that they traveled out of space or multi-dimensions.
Yeah.
I don't think they need your $10.
Yeah, but at least they can look at it and say, this is interesting. You exchange this with each other. Is that how primitive you beings are? And I'd be like, yeah, these guys are fools.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell the aliens.
Foolish.
Yeah, I don't understand them. Let's get in on that space tech. And then, I would also ask them about time travel, because I'd wonder if they had to do any time traveling to be able to get here. So talk about time travel and space travel. That's
and
it.
You would also
I
ask
don't care about anything else. Right? I would tell them, will you take my wife with you guys when you go home?
Just me, eh?
I don't want
Take her away.
No.
Doesn't be done yet.
I know she wants to travel and she has lots of questions she can't get answered here. So
exactly.
If you have to leave too soon, she needs to keep speaking with you.
Good riddance to our child.
No, because remember, they can take us in spirit with you.
Oh, okay.
Like I would tell them, please, put me in a robot and then I'll travel with you.
So I'll go and y'all stay.
No, but we're going to be there with you, but our bodies will stay here, but our minds will be there.
Thank you for thinking about my travel plans. How presumptuous of you.
I would just ask them that. I'm not saying you have to go along with it. I would ask if it's an option.
Pleasant. Trying to kick me off the island already.
No,
nice.
I'm helping you. I want
19
to push you
years
into
in,
the future.
This is where we're at. Pleasant.
I'm making sure you make it into the future no matter what. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It is scenario time. Scenario 1. Bomani is a former CIA director who testified in front of Congress regarding UAP. When asked about pilots of UAPs, he said the experts found non-human pilots he called biologics. Does this prove that extraterrestrials exist, since it is a crime to lie before Congress?
So literally just reiterating the topic of the episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look at that question though at the end.
Yeah. Is it since it's a crime to lie before
Yeah,
Congress?
it's a crime to lie, so you have to tell the truth.
You have to tell you should tell the truth. Is more not you have to. You don't have to do anything in life.
Say that to the aliens and we'll see what happens.
You don't have to do anything because you can deal with the consequence of not doing whatever you're supposed to do.
But what if the aliens can control you and make you do whatever they want?
But then that's not you choosing to do that. Then that's someone controlling your actions. But you don't have to do anything. Something can compel you to do it, but you do not, in fact, have to do anything.
What does it truly mean
to do.
for you not to do something? Like, what if something
you
takes over your mind?
You have to consent to the action. So if you are incapable of consent, which would occur if someone was taking you over, then you have not consented to do that.
Even if you don't know that you're being taken over.
I mean, knowledge of the takeover is a separate train of thought there. But we're just saying, if someone says you have to do this, you don't have to do anything. You're choosing to do something. And because you have to give consent as how we live. And so here, he doesn't have to tell the truth to Congress. He should tell the truth so he's not committing a crime. But he doesn't have to tell the truth. You should tell the truth. And you agree to tell the truth. So you should follow through with your word. And if that is the case, then and he is not lying, then yes, that would be demonstrated proof that he is, that alien biologics, whatever, are here.
But the question is, because he's not supposed to lie before Congress, and he gave this testimony, is that
no,
just
not
enough
in
proof?
and of itself, because people lied to Congress. Yeah, people
All
lied.
right, so it's not proof.
But if he is telling the truth, then it is proof. But if he's not,
as no one can know,
no one can know.
Right?
I mean, yeah,
that's the interesting thing.
Maybe they should put the biologics and interview them then.
Yeah, the living.
Hey, did you really arrive here?
As I put on at least my Instagram page, biologics is a already used word, so I think he misspoke when he said that, because biologics are living medicine.
Yeah.
So that's what was piloting the aircraft.
Amazing.
See,
Amazing.
I think you gotta go consult with those experts again.
I don't know. Maybe there's another. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's another term that's being used.
Yeah, nobody
it hasn't made itself to the dictionary yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody comment.
Or maybe
on
that's how the government refers to it.
Oh, did they have a secondary
Maybe
term?
have a slang. Yeah.
This is what we call it.
knows?
I mean, okay, guys, but that's different, and maybe you explained it, but nah, this is different. You know. This one's easy for me. Like, I don't care that you said it. Even if you're eyewitness, I want to see the proof is in the pudding, right? Show me those alien footage and not the ones from the 90s, because those are really terrible. And even the ones from now, they're not doing it.
You don't enjoy the ones on TikTok?
It's hard though. It's kind of funny because it's like, what would be proof that they really exist? Like, what would prove that? It wouldn't be easy, to be honest.
Independence.
Because it can't just be footage. It can't just be audio. I mean, how would you truly prove
I don't
they exist?
I don't think there's enough to satisfy anyone, because some people audio might be enough. For some
I guess it would have to be experiential kind of thing.
Yeah, everyone would have to experience.
But it's hard though too,
because
because what if you get to meet these aliens, you meet them, and then they're like, it seems like it's somebody in a costume.
Hey.
See, they could be real, and you still won't believe it.
You would have to. You know what? You would have to witness.
Yeah,
you would have to witness a non-human type of act. So
I guess that's what you're saying.
Of some type,
but in person, not on
in person. Yeah, not over
footage.
Film. In person, they'd have to levitate. They'd have to do telepathic communication. They would have to.
And it has to be with you, though. You have to be the subject. Because they can't even show it happen to somebody.
Would have to experience it, that it would be demonstratable, like proof to masses.
Yeah, and it has to be a lot of people.
Not just one of us. Because again, I would do it, and you wouldn't believe me for 1,000 years. Like,
if it happened to you, you could tell me. I'd be like,
you'd
sure,
be like, sure, Tosh, okay.
But it's not a fault to you. It's a fault to the human brain.
Yeah.
Because we just believe anything we see. So because even if it happened to me, I wouldn't want you to believe it. I would want you to experience it, because I could have a mental break.
I'm not out here living and trying to disprove everyone and call them mad like you are.
I'm not doing it on purpose.
I would say that's what you should write a book about it, I guess.
Because I had a mental break.
Exactly.
That's what I'm going to write about. How I lost my mind.
I wish I could see your face right now.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm writing this book. This is not a proof, and the proof is really tough to get to. It needs to be a lot more than just not even eyewitness, testimony.
Gotcha.
That, at least give us something more. Scenario 2. Cillian worked on secret mystery-funded government projects for a few decades. She analyzed recovered aircraft that weren't reported to the news. Many times she was unable to identify the technology in the aircraft. Does this prove aliens exist?
Not necessarily. We could have, you didn't state the country, nation that she was a part of. So
it's not.
One could argue that those aircrafts were created or developed by other nations for which she's not, living in. And so, for instance, if we're in the US and we find, a craft that crashed here, and it's like different technology, maybe it's from, I don't want to say the regular one that everyone always go to. Maybe it's from
Swaziland.
So maybe it's from Australia, right? Like, or maybe it's from Antarctica. Like, maybe it's from
the continent where no country has a stake in.
Yes,
I mean, I guess
maybe it's or Russia or China or Africa,
nice.
Things like that. So what I'm saying is, you can't automatically jump to say, oh, it's multidimensional. It's like you can't just always just go to the extreme. We first have to just make sure it's planet Earth and make sure we've covered our bases.
Oh, man.
And then upon that discovery of all the other nations being nope, don't know what that is.
But they can just lie to you, right?
And that's the problem. They could lie and be we'll just be careful.
We didn't make that technology.
And
then you say it's made in that country. You find a little sticker, guys, it's right there.
But if we could discover that it is not of human creation across any of our nations, then you can jump to the space of, maybe it's outside of our land, our planet. But there's more discovery before we jump there.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard one too. How do you prove that the tech didn't originate on Earth. I'm not sure what would show that it wasn't earthly. I mean, really.
I mean, the programming or the pieces, maybe like metals. Don't they always in these alien things? They're always like, this metal doesn't exist in the U.S. or on planet Earth or something. Like, if it uses metals that we've never seen before, then that may be indicative that this is outside.
But it's not
of our
that
realm.
somebody because remember we create new atoms all the time. Is it not that somebody has now realized how to make like full on matter kind of thing using the part of like particle creation?
But I mean, most people I think would jump to like,
I know, just jump like, new metal. This must be out of this world.
Out of this world.
But that's not necessarily true because we create all these new elements.
I guess if you think about it, what kind of resources would they have to?
Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't even know if it's feasible to do. To be honest,
is it Lex
Luthor?
Yeah, maybe it's like that person. There might be people like that character, like. In real life, there are people maybe who are... the
villain from Superman.
Yes.
There might be people that exist that
are doing doing different things with a lot of money so they would be able to actually have the resources. Because the average Joe, again...
That's what you're talking about, billionaires, like... Oh, you think billionaires are working on these
things? Yeah, I don't know if that's a reality. I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's a creative.
Oh yeah,
possibility.
That's definitely what you're talking about.
Could be a human possibility. It was made.
Some definitely conspiracy theory stuff to say the billionaires are actually gathering together.
No, I don't think. And again, you don't have to be a billionaire
travel.
to be able to. You could be a millionaire.
Oh wow, and really, you can fund these type of projects that are
it's crowd's the worst. I mean,
from multi-billionaires, all these billionaires come together.
Illuminati. Who knows what they're really up to? Right?
I mean, that's a different episode, right? Illuminati is the aliens, right? That's them. That's who it really is. They are actually aliens. But that's interesting that, you can't really know that something's out of this world in my mind. So I definitely think that just because you find new tech, you can't say aliens exist. That doesn't tell you that. That's not. And to say that the other countries don't have it, it's so far ahead of, like, what do you know? They might be finishing that technology off just as you speak, though. It's hard to say. And we don't even talk about time travel here, but that's something different. Do we count humans traveling? If you're able to travel into the past, which I don't think is possible, if it happens, are they technically aliens? They're human. Are they extraterrestrial? No. They're just time travelers.
Interesting.
What does that mean? See, that brings the whole thing. I have to
watch that show on that, yeah.
So, I mean, you believe that aliens are here, but you don't believe that time travelers are here, right?
Well, when I think of time traveling, I think of people who are traveling and then their hair turns white because they're aging, and it's just like, oh god.
Why does it have to be a joke for you? These time traveling people are trying to
like I said, I haven't watched the show, Khalil. I haven't watched. There's like a time traveler show. There's a couple of
think. I mean, there's movies.
But
you're not talking about one of the original. Sliders is one of the original.
No, I haven't seen that, but I've heard of that.
But actually, that might be dimensional travel.
There's a new.
So it's just time travel.
The
Flash?
Travel, definitely not.
Oh.
But there's a new show on like time travelers or whatever. So. I mean, I don't know if they still are in new. I don't know if they're still in production, but what I'm saying is, of course, anything is possible. That is my premise in life. So, if there could be extraterrestrial creatures, there also could be people who are walking back fast and walking forward fast and flying around in circles and doing the darn thing. That's their business.
Okay.
So
you're thinking time travel is like Back to the Future, then? You think it's like that?
In the DeLorean?
Yeah. Yep. 88 miles per hour is what it takes to travel.
I know that's what's right.
That's all you need.
I know that's right.
That's all you need.
I mean, good for them.
So you're thinking of these just kooky people that are doing stuff that's...
Take a picture, please.
Because you forgot the watchers in the show. Weren't they more
in Fringe?
Yeah, yes. Weren't they more like devious or... They felt more intimidating than the time travelers that you have. They're just wearing Hawaiian shirts with... Does they bring their mojitos back with them too and just relax?
It might be really good.
I mean, why would time travelers be doing all that stuff?
I'm just saying, everyone can do their
You're making them so relaxed and weird looking.
They can do what they see fit.
But in your mind, they're not here either way. Aliens are here, but they're not here. Like, just in your mind, though, right now, you wouldn't even think they're here, right? You think it's just aliens, yeah.
I mean, if they were time traveling, I would hope they're going forward, right? The past
that's easy to do, though. The past, but that's, people always want to change the past. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but that's
not that it's
problematic.
Great. Yeah, it is. So that's what you think it just would mess with our whole time. How time
if
works
they are
here,
traveling
right?
back, they've messed up because we haven't improved the future.
But
right?
maybe that's why it's gotten bad, because they time traveled and screwed everything up.
Well, yeah, they definitely messed up Roe v. Wade and affirmative action. So stop whatever you're doing.
Imagine that.
Stop immediately.
All the critical events in history because the time traveler was screwed up.
That is a messed up situation.
It's like, you time travelers, you messed up our history. Our timeline is all screwed up because of you.
Exactly. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think the aliens are here, and I don't think this craft would have proved it.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario 3. Ubaka just watched a U.S. congressional hearing about UAPs. At no point during all the testimony did one person mention extraterrestrials are real, but there were many allusions to non-human intelligent life by second-hand witnesses. Does this mean every person on the planet should be concerned with alien life?
Again, it depends. Everyone has their ability to decide what is important to them and what is meaningful to them. And so even with an accounting around extraterrestrial intelligent life existing, if that's not something that one deems important, then no, you don't have to care. Again, you don't have to do anything. But one would say that I do think it's important for us as a society to just think about the implications of that and just make sure that, like, if these creatures or people or whatever are in existence, what's their intentions for being here? What's their intentions for wanting to engage with us? Because I do think as a part of the American society, I would be curious to know, like, were they flying because they were just, like, out on a cruise? Like, were they just, like, or were they coming here to collect data on us? Like that, I have a whole series of questions I'm trying to understand.
A lot of stuff there.
Why were these life forms traveling here? What was the fun? Was it like they were just, out for a joyride? Like, what were they doing? And
they were teenagers,
yeah,
just having fun.
And so they've crashed, and so does that mean their peoples are coming for them? Like, are like
I know, too many?
To me, it just it just seems kind of concerning. Not something that I'm like going to keep me up all night, but it does lead to a series of questions that need to be answered. And if they never get answered, I mean, it is what it is. I don't work in the government, so I can't.
That you even know about,
and that
right?
too, like if they've been here for so long, I think he mentioned from the 30s or something like that.
Yeah.
Like then obviously they're taking their sweet time until their peeps come for them, if they ever do come for them. So either way, it's obviously not life threatening. But I would say you don't have to care. But if that intrigues you, you should care.
Now I just wondered too. I just thought about this. I mean, it's possible, but I'm just wondering if there's beings that can travel across space. Once they get to a planet, it's always so hard for them to land, They always make the mistake of crashing. Like, I don't know, I just can't see that being a possibility, right?
It's questionable, because it's like why
they crashed?
If you could travel here, then why couldn't you land here? Like,
you couldn't land or even escape. Like, sometimes you do it, but you don't
escape us, like, our people?
Yeah, like I just thought about it. It's just a little questionable.
I mean, unless they were flying and we shot them down, like, so
even that's still amazing. They travel across space, but our bullets can take them out. That's all it takes. Because this technology to travel across space is not...
There's nothing that's perfect, right? And that exists for all creatures.
It's not perfect, but to travel across space, you gotta be...
pretty darn smart.
Pretty close, because it's like, I mean, you're surviving much worse than bullets. This craft is much stronger.
All our different things to get here, and then...
Well, we don't know how, unless they're doing some sort of, like, teleportation, and their crafts are garbage, but they can teleport. Then maybe it can make sense to me. But if they traveled, like, if they literally... we're going from point to point. I can't see that happening.
Intentional? See, that's why it's maybe they...
we crashed on purpose so you could discover us. This is just a false flag, or I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's a Trojan horse. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, again, in this scenario, most people shouldn't be concerned because there's not much information about what they're doing, and you can't even do anything, even if there is something
out of your control.
Like, there's nothing, you can't really take any action. It's not like, all right, now I'm going to prepare. I'm going to go load up on water buckets.
Bunker.
Yeah, I'm going to go get my weaponry ready. Like, what are you going to do? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, do not get armed, y'all.
Yeah, none of that makes any sense. There's nothing to do, really, for us.
Maybe watch Mars Attacks if you're thinking for good fun, maybe.
Oh, okay. Just watch that for good fun. That's the only movie to watch.
And Independence Day, the first one.
Okay. I mean, I would tell them to watch a show called X-Files. I think that would be nice to watch.
And also Roswell, the original and the remake.
They could watch that too.
Yeah.
If they want to find out more about love.
Yes.
Yeah, they could do that.
Ooh, and then Star-Crossed. Yes.
Well, now you've kind of crossed the line.
Love that
Now I think
show. One season deserves so much more. Oh.
Yeah, that's a lot. But there's not much to really do. I guess, consume some content. But
consume content, write stories, and hope for the best.
Do you think anybody should write to their local Congress leaders? Or
about what?
Or, I mean, they're about the aliens.
Asking for what?
Can they receive more information about this new thing?
You're welcome to do whatever you like.
Oh, and now you reminded me. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
So there are things that you as a person can't control. You can't control your heartbeat. See, so there's things that just physically are on you that you have to do it. You don't have the choice of stopping
Excellent inclusion of information.
I just want to make the point that there's certain things that you have to do. Like, it doesn't matter even if you don't want to do. It's going to happen.
All right.
Are you okay with that or no?
I guess my heart will decide. So,
wow.
With that, it looks like we're at the end of this wonderful conversation. And what does that mean? That is coming to the end of our 309th episode of WokeNFree. What is wrong with you?
I was taken over by an extraterrestrial at that moment. Oh no, is there a UAP in this room?
Maybe you're the UAP.
No, you didn't see that flash of that lightning ball?
Nope, only flash of annoyance.
Oh, that's messed up.
This was quite the episode, discussing and asking the question, what are aliens doing here and why doesn't anyone care? Khalil, what do folks need to do now?
Come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you would like to share a topic idea, best way to get in touch with us is on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. Now, on social media, again, we'd love for you to engage and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokenFree. And all sponsorship and collaboration queries, best place to reach us is our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Till next time.